Headlining shows out in Poland. You should be cleaning my mansion. My peasant's disgusting. Why don't you act like a Hoffman and go get to dustin'? Yeah, latex on my. Go clean my crown. Can't hear my haters from way up here. They don't make a sound. Money goes on these. White paint on my toes. When I see that new bay alert, don't be mad. Jumping in the bed, then I switch to the ghost like who?
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders. So with that, let's get out to the East Bay in Oakland, California. On the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. And Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They've been in a great groove. Winners of 7 of their last 10 on the year.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. They go play action here on first down. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there at 22. He had his eyes on 200 yards last week, earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week. And he was really, really good. Fun to watch back in tape with you.
It was fun to watch, wasn't it? He's trying to have the same type of a game in this one. But what was fun watching was how he read the defense. No matter what they presented, he had an answer for it, and that's why he was open during that game.
They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Now a play fake here on first down. This will be caught inside the 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. DJ Chark, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. Well, these guys scored touchdown after touchdown in that win a week ago. So how do they come out this week? Same way. They got that momentum going, a touchdown on the opening drive.
I think it's safe to say that they're in a groove, isn't it? I mean, a lot of times we've seen where teams have scored a ton of points the week before. The very next week struggle to score almost as if they used it all up. Not in this case. This group appears locked in.
And we're going to have to make some adjustments if you're on the other side of that football.
Here we go now. Green 39.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. The All-Pro in 2 positions. Khalil Mack there to make the stop.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
There's Foreman. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a gain of a yard there, and now will be 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
All right, here we go.
On 3rd down, Rosen. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
This is fielded at the 27. return that time. 18 yards. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now. I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On play action, they'll throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly for 6.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well-organized, well-coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Now let's go.
A carry for Foreman. Dances by him. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. On play action, Rosen. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Well, it doesn't take any great analysis. No jokes, partner, okay? All right, on this one. But we just know that we're going to see this as the game moves forward. There's going to be 2 guys on him at just about every snap.
It's kind of a dare to throw his way, but they have to keep throwing his way.
The benefits could be great. You throw it to a great receiver, he could come down with it anyway.
The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Hurry up, here we go.
Rosen off the play action. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. On 2nd down, Rosen throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars have cut it back within a score. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
The best thing that ever happened to Mario Edwards Jr., in my estimation, was moving from defensive end into defensive tackle.
Why is that?
I think he had such good size, but his quickness now is overwhelming when he works inside against guards and centers. And that allows him to make plays as one we just saw there, getting into the backfield and getting a tackle for the loss.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Dante Fowler in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now Foreman. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. And he'll find Sutton on the right side complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least to Few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Leopard!
They're going to look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And down he'll go at the 25. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gone.
A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. On third down, that is a big-time play for the Raiders. 48 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Out routes are always timing routes. And if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. Now it's Rosen. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. It goes as a gain of 6, and it's a first down. From the gun, it's Rosen. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Second and 10. It's Rosen again. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Rosen will throw. And that's incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of the season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after it.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great effort there. With his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Jaguars are within an extra point of tying this one up. Bailey got the extra point, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Well, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
He'll drop to throw. And now he'll tuck it and run. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Rolling to his right. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. A gain of 32 that time.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team to...
And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders have moved out in front.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore. Or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So they are going to call on Dan Bailey here. His career long is 56 yards done in Seattle. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
They'll throw now on the final play. toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we've reached halftime here in Oakland with the Raiders on top. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game.
And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. DeForest Buckner in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball, and then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
Open man right side is Shark. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. This quarterback now over 300 yards now for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
Now a handoff, running off tackle right. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Room here to run. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Here we go now.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. They give it to him running left. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
this is where you're probably weighing the score and the clock. Third quarter, so maybe it's a little early to start worrying about how much time is left in the game. But if you kick the field goal, you make it a 2-score game.
And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, but I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
They run again with Foreman, and he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Taken in at the 22. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Gone! All right, here we go. Green 39! Green 39!
Now back to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Dante Fowler. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
They'll set up a throw, and that is incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Out to his left. He's got it at the 15. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Back now in the East Bay. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
They'll run with Foreman. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. They'll wind up losing about a dozen on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And now it's Rosen looking. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Well contained there defensively. The screen gets only a yard, and it's 4th. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot. Now let's go. 3-19.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I think the Raiders are going to be able to hold on to it, yes.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Detroit! Set! Green 39! Green 39!
Back to throw. Catch made right side by Wilson. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
They'll look to throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Again, it's Foreman. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
3-19.
Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And they'll get him down right around the 16. They'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Here we go. It's Rosen on 4th down. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Now Rosen looking to throw. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. As his guys are in for 6. And the Jaguars get a score closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space.
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. In for the score. And the Raiders add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Butker now to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
All right, here we go.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Rosen to throw on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Hurry up, here we go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Here's Rosen. He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31. Defensively rallying to the ball after the nice move. They want to go to the air again with Rosen. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. On third down, Rosen. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first. But at least it's fourth down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Detroit! Detroit! Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
They go play action here on first down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Leonard Williams in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
We want back ends. Wipe my sins. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Champion. We want back ends. Wipe my sins. Wipe it. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Yeah. Wake up, the cake up, raise up, or make us do something we don't want to. Bite down on you, right now on you. Juke to the left, they dodging it. Can't play the role, you fraudulent. Waiting on the race for the stars in it. 4x4 double parking it. Wanna play like cars in it. Wear the right flag, they forfeiting it. Now I got a ring too gorgeous. Damn, I gotta treat it like forges. It sound like I don't wanna scratch it. Try to take the ring, I'ma tackle you. I guess I'm a Super Bowl bachelor. Go hard in the gym, no cameras. I think I see blood, no Dracula. I'm an animal, eating up amateurs. Too active, y'all can't handle it. No taxing, we'll dismantle it. Shake up the building and ramble it. Shut up the critics and analysts. Come through dripping, I'ma set it off. Game after game, you can bet it all. Quarterback got range if you broke them all. quarterback did an option instead of that. Duck, goose, linebacker coming through. Yeah, hit him with the spin on the juke. Yeah, we gon' blow your block like a new. Yeah, and I spend a dime every two. We gon' lock down on the offense. Bust down the skeleton fossil. I'm not addressing the problem. Julio on the post, you can't stop him. Pick it up, running back, it's no problem. I'm running behind the block, they gon' block him. Quavo Yoda, I'm offset Chewbacca. Watch the blitz on the left, we gon' block him. We some animal, yeah, we some gobbler. Man to man, we gon' cover you properly. Man to man, you can't beat me impossibly. Red zone, this my highlight, my property. Do a quarterback, niggas on 4th and 3. Kick the ends on the offensive block for me. I step on him down, get off of me. I'm trucking them over, he under me. Walk back ends, wipe my sins, They can't win, No new friends, Football fans, they sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Champion. We want back ends. Wipe my sins. Wipe it. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Yeah.
I just hike the ball and I look for the open man. The zone, I'm trying to get in. Open the play, but the book of the champion. Get flipped if you trying to get in. I got the front defense, they got the end. Going for long, on 1st and the 10. Gotta go hard, we gotta get all. No loss or excuses, cause we gotta win. They say they sleep, must not be a fan. Get at your mans and mess up your plans. Look at your stands and look at your hands. I do what I want and you do what you can. I do it for fans, you do it for fame. EA Sports, we in the game. I am the coach and the player of the game. They gon' remember the name.
We want back ends. Wipe my sins. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Champion. We want back ends. Wipe my sins. Wipe it. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Yeah.
Look in the mirror, how could you face that? Mask on, don't even know where my face at. Plenty don't even know where waste at. All these in the room, how could you waste that? Huh? Why would you chase that? It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. No matter what, I'ma stay black. It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. Need more jewelry, what I tell myself as I'm writing my eulogy. Ask the mirror, how you put up with this foolery? It reply, how you put up with this song and dance, all this buffoonery. Long romance, death, what it do to me? Yamagini dream was a nightmare. He was dancing with the devil for his life, yeah. We all on the dance floor. Girl, come with a dance. Puerto Rican in them breathing heavy. Little am I looking daddy. Couldn't tell him nothing cause we lost him already. Cozy boy with his spaghetti. Want the money and fame, the price come heavy.